flexibility and durability that they need to win on race night. If you're looking for a new chassis or need repairs made to your current one, call Mike at 402-826-0302.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
No doubt about it, a water softener saves you money. Don't have one? Call the plumbers at Bryant. Just one call and no arm twisting contracts. For a free estimate, call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And Electrical.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Sunday Rewind.
Take it back now, y'all.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now, here are your hosts, Tom Stevens and Mike Melby.
Welcome in, Tom Stevens, Mike Melby, Husker Rewind. Excited because Husker basketball gets underway right now, although we can't see it. There's only going to be a couple of these games, I think, where they play during our time slot from 5 to 7.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of breaking news before we really get going. It's always fun when we get to do breaking news on Husker Rewind here at 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Just announced moments ago, pass rushing specialist Jackson Lee out of Frisco, Texas. He attends Lone Star High School. He was offered a scholarship by Matt Rule and company last week. He visited for the Northwestern game, and he, as of a couple of moments ago, is the 28th commitment in the 2024 class. So that is brand new. Jackson Lee commits. He will come in. He was hosted by Cam Linhart last weekend. Made a comment that the very first thing the coaching staff did, and Matt Rule specifically, was nice to meet you. Where are your parents? We want to go talk to them. We want to get to know you, understand you, your family, what you're about. He was sold, feels the family atmosphere up here, but he'll be a Husker. He is not going to enroll early. He wants to run track. Oh, guess what? He's a track guy. Imagine that.
That's they'll take all track guys if they could.
He was a preferred walk-on commit to Texas Tech. And then some more breaking news just announced about an hour ago. The starter at center for tonight's exhibition game for Nebraska supposedly was going to be Matar Diop, and Matar's got strep throat, so he's not going to play.
No.
Nebraska's got 6 healthy scholarship players and 4 walk-ons available for the game against Doane today. It's not going to make any difference. I mean, it's an exhibition, so who cares? But
I'm not worried, but it's a little frustrating that and even in that exhibition game, they didn't have several players available to play in that exhibition game, where it sounds like they split with Utah. So maybe that's a good thing. I know Keisei Tominaga has really practiced well, so I expect a big year. I know preseason all Big Ten. I think second team is where he landed.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to have a big year. And I think Nebraska basketball is really going to have a good year. And it sounds like they're starting to figure out the point guard position.
Yeah, it was interesting. All preseason, Fred Hoiberg had made the comment, it's Jamarcus Lawrence is going to be our guy. He's going to, that's what we want to do. He's, fitting into the role. It's really lights are starting to come on for him and playing that role, not the 2, which is what he's always played. And lo and behold, there's a great article today in a couple of different papers about Boogie Coleman and how he's going to run the offense. Although Boogie will not start. It will be Jamarcus Lawrence. Just so you know, starting 5 tonight, Jamarcus Lawrence, Keisei Tominaga, Sam Hoiberg, CJ Wilcher, and Bryce Williams. Williams, the tallest Husker available at 6'9". So he'll play point center. A little bit of Derek Walker-ish, except Christensen can shoot the 3.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah, Rink Mask will not be in the lineup. I don't think Jawan Gary will play tonight.
Nope.
Rink Mask involved in an altercation. I don't think anything that he did. I think he was, quite frankly, attacked.
Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. We'll cover that in the kickoff. And should we get to that?
Yeah, we might as well just get to the kickoff.
Yeah, we
could do that. We don't even need a particular reason to get to the opening kickoff. We do it every week.
Get off my lawn.
Not off my lawn. Get off my lawn. Let's see. Here it is. I think this is the opening kickoff. This is Keith. There it is.
Lasher will kick it off for Oklahoma. The Sooners are in white. We are in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we are ready to go.
We are ready to go. We already kind of broke the news on a couple of different things. Jackson Lee commits to Nebraska. He is a pass rushing specialist out of Frisco, Texas. He joins 27 others that are committed to Nebraska in the 2024 class. Breaking news as well, Matar Diop will not play in the exhibition game tonight. Starters for Nebraska basketball: Jamarcus Lawrence, Keisei Tominaga, Sam Hoiberg, CJ Wilcher, Bryce Williams. Rink Mast, as you alluded to earlier, Tom, was allegedly assaulted by former North Dakota State linebacker Nick DeLuca on October 19th and will not play in tonight's exhibition game. DeLuca pushed Mast off of a scooter that he was riding and then began punching him for unknown reasons. There's speculation on some other people that may have been involved in this that have
just crazy
some ties to the university.
He was at a concert at PBA, apparently.
Okay, yeah.
And leaving the concert and tried to get on his scooter and was attacked.
Yeah, and so we'll see what all comes of this. At any rate, Rank was in the hospital for a while. He will not play, probably not the first game against Lindenwood or whoever it is, coming up later this week. Also missing tonight's game, Josiah Alec. He injured an ankle in last week's scrimmage against Utah. Jawan Gary suspended for a violation of team policies. Blaise Keita and Ramel Lloyd Jr. are both still out while they rehab injuries. And Matar Diop, as I mentioned, is out with strep. We mentioned Jackson Lee is now committed to Nebraska football. However, they no longer have a running back commit as Kawan Lacey decommitted from the Huskers on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I think
he has an Alabama offer.
Yeah, I'm sure NIL has played into this a little bit as well. But bottom line is Nebraska's running back room, to me, hopefully Ramir Johnson gets that 6th season of eligibility.
You're getting Gabe Ervin back.
Gabe Ervin comes back.
Emmett Johnson seems to be a really good back.
I like Emmett Johnson a lot.
They'll get somebody out of the portal.
I get it, but I'd love to have a high school guy too.
No.
Let's see here. Hey, Nebraska soccer, we got to congratulate them. They won in the opening round of the Big Ten tournament 3-2 at Hibner Stadium earlier this afternoon. Also, Husker soccer player Eleanor Dale was named the Big Ten Forward of the Year on Friday. She is the national leader with 23 goals scored. I think she had 2 today, so she's got 25 now. Also, with the year-end awards for the Huskers, 30-year head coach John Walker. He was named Big Ten Conference Coach of the Year. And again, they knocked off Ohio State in the Big Ten Tourney 3-2 this afternoon. They will play Thursday in Columbus, Ohio against the winner of Rutgers and Wisconsin. Let's see. 6 former Husker athletes entered the Nebraska Athletics Hall of Fame, and they were celebrated in a ceremony on Friday at Memorial Stadium. The list was headlined by 2-time national champion quarterback Tommy Frazier. How is Frazier not in prior to now?
Yeah, he's in the College Football Hall of Fame, but he's not in the Nebraska Athletic Hall of Fame.
Until last Friday. Yeah, anyway. Others in the class were Lori Endicott, who was a hitter and a setter for Terry Pettit from 1985 to 88. Gymnast Emily Parsons, who was the NCAA Regional All-Around Champion in 2005 and 2006. Host of other awards, including being a 7-time first-team All-American. Tully Thompson, a great wrestler. He was a heavyweight champion as a sophomore, wound up third as a junior and senior. But 95 is when he had the heavyweight crown, also a 3-time conference champ, and the heavyweight champ in the Big 8 tournament and the last 2 and the first Big 12 tournament. But Tully Thompson joined by Brittany Timko, 2-time All Big 12 Player of the Year, and then one of the greatest coaches of any sport at Nebraska. I think probably one of the longest tenured, too. Gary Pepin, 41 years as the track and field coach. One other thing I wanted to mention, Nebraska volleyball played this weekend.
They did.
And we'll talk more with Tanya about it next hour. But they destroyed Maryland and Rutgers.
Which we knew they would. I didn't know that they would sweep them. I mean, usually you sometimes you overlook a team like Maryland or Rutgers, and they did not.
I watched most of Friday night's game. I missed last night's game, but I watched most of Friday night's game. Harper Murray was insane. She wound up with 16 high kills. Career best 423 hitting percentage. The third set, 25-8 was the final. And I think 3 of the points for Maryland were service errors by Nebraska.
Right.
It was one of the most dominating sets I've ever seen Nebraska volleyball play. Absolutely insane. And then last night they rolled 25-22, 15-12 over Rutgers. Allie Batenhorst led the way, but holy smokes.
Who's Nebraska's best volleyball player in your mind this year?
Yes. I mean, I don't know,
because you can make a different argument every single night.
The player to me that's the MVP, and we asked Tanya this last week, and I liked her argument. Lexi Rodriguez is, and it's not really a question of anybody else being a possibility.
I would go most valuable. I don't know that she's the best player, but
Merritt Beeson. Yeah, and the reason is because other teams change their offense and how they attack based on where they think Lexi Rodriguez is going to be. When teams change their offense because of a single player, that player is pretty damn special. Flip side, though, Merritt Beeson, I mean, holy smokes. One of the most, I have a feeling next year, her senior year, you're talking player of the year candidate here.
Right.
And possibly even this year, depending on, if what happens with the remainder of the season. I thought she's just insane.
I thought Whitney Lonstein was going to be a big loss, and then I saw Merritt Beeson play, and I thought, well, I guess that's not the case necessarily.
The interesting thing with Merritt Beeson was the article written about her earlier this week. I believe Amy Justa, the Journal Star, wrote it, and she said, when I went in the portal, I had a handful of teams in my head. I really want to look into this team, that team, article. And the other team.
Well written.
And then, lo and behold, Becca Alec goes to John Cook and said, hey, screenshot, we need her on our team. Go get her.
Right.
And so the very first call that she takes after she enters the portal just happens to be with John Cook and Jalen Reyes. And she gets to town and she's like, oh, I get it now. Right. I get why they're this good.
Well, and she had some interesting comments in that she said that there was a feeling that she had this feeling that it couldn't put her finger on it necessarily. And she was talking about culture. And sometimes you don't know why culture is so strong or why it's so good, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
And Nebraska volleyball has that feel, like a togetherness, a culture. And John Cook is obviously the guy that's built that culture and maintained the culture. But I think at some point, and I think Nebraska football was certainly that way in the 90s during the 60-3 run. It takes on a life of its own. And there's a certain expectation, and it's not even from John Cook. It's just there's a certain expectation from the players Like you felt like you better not get out of line or Christian or Jason Peter was going to be in your face. Like when you have a team built culture, it's more strong. It's a better foundation than a coach led culture. And I think that's where Nebraska volleyball has been for quite a while, where they have great leaders. The thing about Beeson, though, is she took over the mantle really quickly. Like she was named captain almost as soon as she hit campus, which was impressive.
Her and Lexi were named captains on the plane ride back from Brazil, which, you sit there and they had like Merritt Beeson had been on campus for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Or 2 months, maybe tops. And,
but have the basketball captains been announced? I don't think they have.
No, not that I know of.
Who would you expect to be captain?
I think it's not even a question. Juwan Gary is going to be a guy that you're going to say he's our captain. Other than that,
I think maybe a Rink Mask or a Josiah Alec.
Well, I was going to say, and then you've got 3 other guys that are all transfers that you kind of go, well, and that would be Rink Mask, Josiah Alec, and Bryce Christensen.
And it was no doubt that it was, Bandamel and Griesel. I mean, those were just the guys that were whether they're captains or not, they were the leaders.
Yeah.
And it feels like Gary's a good pick. He's a really good pick. I don't know from a vocal standpoint if he's captain. I don't know if he's a captain or not.
The one caveat with that, though, is he's suspended for a violation of team rules. Captains don't violate team rules.
Yeah.
So,
well,
regardless, bottom line, this from an inside source, and I trust this inside source. I think you're married to her. They're going to be one of the best offensive rebounding teams that Nebraska basketball has ever seen.
My wife had a chance to go to a practice the other day, and it just says they're really well. And Sam Hoiberg has talked about it, and I've heard him talk about it in detail. That the practices are really physical, and this is a team with those 3 guys. You're talking about Rink Mask, who's 6'10", and just a very good rebounder anyway. Jop is a guy that I think is going to be a great rebounder. He's not necessarily a regular starter, I don't think, on a regular basis, but he's a great rebounder. I just think, and Josiah Alec, I think Josiah Alec is a guy that's going to get you 8 to 10 offensively too, not just defensive boards. These guys are going to get multiple looks at the basket because of rebounding.
Josiah Alec reminds the offensive lineman count pancake blocks. Like Josiah Alec is going to lead the team in blockouts that put defenders in the 3rd row.
Yeah.
Because from what I've heard with the way he goes after, and it's all, within the rules, it's all the way you're supposed to play. But man, when he goes out, and he's even alluded to the fact with Eli Rice, he's like, I'm trying to show him this is what it's going to be like.
You can't rebound like a high school kid.
Yeah. No, you don't.
You will get thrown out of the lane in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Get low, get leverage, and do your job.
So we'll do score updates. Obviously, Nebraska doned the exhibition game at PBA tonight. We'll talk a lot about that. But we got to get into football in detail with Stephen M. Sipple, who was at the game yesterday, has written a lot about it for Husker Online. We'll talk to Stephen M. Sipple coming up next.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. October is pork month, and here are the specials for the week of October 23rd. Enjoy all-natural thick-cut Iowa chops for $1.88 per pound, extra meaty pork loin back ribs for $3.99 per pound, and bacon-wrapped pork tenderloin, 2 for $5 for 6 ounces of meat. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. But there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
This is Sunday Rewind on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Husker Rewind here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. My name is Mike Melby. That is Tom Stevens. We're in the shiny new studio downtown at 11th and tomorrow morning about 6 a.m. Mr. Stephen M. Sipple will join Bill Bush and Jake Sorensen once again for Early Break with Sip and Jake. And Steve also does a little side writing on occasion for Husker Online on the On3 network. Sip, how are you, man?
Are you there? Did we lose Sip?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
okay. There we go.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Doing
good. Really good.
Doing better than anybody that's injured that's playing for Nebraska basketball. Holy smokes. The injury bug kind of rubbed off on Fred Hoiberg's crew.
But
Hopefully they get them all.
Nothing dramatic.
No,
it's going to keep
luckily.
anybody out for any length of time. So.
Sip, what were your takeaways from yesterday as a whole? I mean, bottom line, it kind of keeps coming back for me. Hey, we won. I don't care what it looked like. They're 5-3. What was your biggest takeaways from yesterday?
Are we? I think did we lose him?
We must have.
We lost Steve. We'll get right back to him. He's on the other line. Well, he's not on the line at all right now, but we'll get back to him. We'll call him.
Ben is efforting.
Right.
He's good.
Is he there? Are you there?
Yeah, that was Ben.
Yep. Ben called you.
Ben did. All right, yeah, ready to roll.
All righty. Yeah. Quick question to start things off. Your biggest takeaways from the win yesterday.
Biggest takeaways. Well, I mean, the way they got up 21-0, and took control of the game with a long drive, 15-play drive with then with a 73-yard pass. So very different sort of offensive touchdowns, and then the big block. I mean, the big field goal block, and it was magnificent. I mean, they studied a soft spot that Purdue had. One of the blockers they identified during the week. Well, at some point in the scouting process, they had identified there's a weak link, and they attacked it. Elijah Judy got the block, and as Matt Rule said, Newsome Quentin was right there. And there you go. It's 21-zip. They're in control. Third quarter, early third quarter. It got a little hairy. Not bad. I mean, it got a little hairy. I was already writing my wins column, and I had to glance up a few times. So I thought, okay, what's going to happen here? But they took control. And then I'd say the last takeaway was, I think Emmett Johnson's arriving before our eyes a little bit. And I'd say the offensive line, you got to give the offensive line a lot of credit. There's a lot going on right now, guys, that's good. And maybe that we take for granted, like their ability yesterday, Nebraska's ability to put that game away on the ground when everyone in the stadium knew what was coming. Everybody knew in the stadium knew they were going to run the ball, and they still ran it late. Got the 28-yard touchdown run to ice it.
Yep. Stephen M. Sipple of Early Break with Sip and Jake and of Husker Online as well. You mentioned the salting it away, but they didn't completely do that. They had a 24-0 lead, and then they fumble. Purdue gets their first touchdown. They fumble again. They pick it up and run for 6. So there's still lots of things to clean up, but they have embraced the Big Ten way, it seems. Matt Rule told us early in the season this was going to be a defensive football team, and it certainly is.
Yeah, they play to it, and I think that some people have sort of identified that the offense, maybe the defense's prowess is it's their confidence on that side while kind of rubbing off on offense. Now, you're not seeing a lot of it. They're really limited on offense, obviously, but it wasn't that bad yesterday. There were times it looks pretty good, but when you fumble 5 times, those offensive fumbles, that's the part. We keep talking about it, and we're going to talk about it again this week. I kind of hope it doesn't dominate the conversation, because what should dominate the conversation is where Nebraska's at. 5-3, 3 straight wins, 5 of the last 6, instead of just fixating on this turnover issue, which is significant. It has to be part of the discussion. But hey, man, there's a lot of teams that are winning ugly out there. Some of the best teams win ugly, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last time I checked, that's all Iowa does.
What Nebraska's doing on defense isn't ugly. That's a real defense.
Yeah, Sip, one thing that I found very odd, Ryan Walters in his first year as a head coach, and reading through some of his comments, he focused so much on we failed to capitalize. We didn't do our jobs. There was a bad snap, and then the holder didn't get the ball down. And they're normally when, it's whatever game it is, it makes no difference. Matt Rule is going to say, hey, the opponent played great. They made some plays. They caused us to do bad things. And you normally get that. And I just was a little, I found it very odd that Ryan Walters didn't at least tip his cap to the defense. He said Nebraska simply took advantage of their opportunities and we failed to do so. Did that strike you as odd, or did you notice it, or am I just being kind of too picky here?
Oh, he's a young coach. I mean, I think maybe as he goes on in this profession, I mean, he's a first-year head coach.
Yeah,
I kind of ride it off to that. I mean, he'll learn how to probably handle those things better. I don't think it's a good look for him. That's what you're saying. It's not a horrible look. There's a degree of truth to it. I mean, Nebraska just took it to them, though. I mean, that's the thing. I didn't watch that game and think, oh man, Purdue had all these missed opportunities. They probably should have won the game. It wasn't. Nebraska was in control most of the time. Like I said, it got a little hairy there in the fourth, early in the fourth. But I don't know. Hey, I just write it off to a young head coach.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just one that I thought was a little peculiar.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I keep coming back to is the injuries, and I thought that they could sustain a few, but the list of injuries is crazy. Xavier Betts, that wasn't an injury; he left the team in fall camp. Then you lose Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, you lose Marcus Washington, you lose Billy Kemp III, you're starting a wide receiver core of Jaden Lloyd, of Malachi Coleman, of Jaden Doss. You're down Turner Corcoran, Ethan Piper, Nori Nwili, and they almost get better in my mind. How are they doing it in your mind?
Just pushing forward, and a lot of it, I think it's good leadership, not only it starts at the top with Matt Rule, but I think good leadership throughout. This is a good group of guys, and it's not, the offense, there's a lot of young guys on offense. There's a lot of older guys on defense, but there's older guys on offense too that are just solid dudes. I'd start with Heinrich. I mean, Heinrich, it's flawed, particularly as a passer, and he's learning his way. But I think you have to give him a lot of credit for the way he's managing those injuries. Yeah, I guess the best way to put it is at the start of the season, if you looked at the depth chart, 8 of the position starters would be out right now, 8 of the 11. And what I said all week was, if that were the 49ers, it'd be a major national story. Or if it were the Ohio State Buckeyes without 8 offensive starters, it would be a major story. Nebraska flies under the radar right now, but it even seems to fly under the radar a little bit here. I don't know that the local media doesn't even make that big of a deal of it, in my opinion, but it is a huge deal. And the way they're managing it is incredibly impressive. It's incredibly impressive. And if they really, if they go to Michigan State and win their 5th straight and 6th of 7, yeah, well, now we're talking. I mean, it's pretty incredible the way this team is being managed. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a great story. I'll tell you one thing, I'm really enjoying covering it right now.
It is a lot of fun to watch, and it's fun to see the young guys get opportunities and older guys get opportunities that maybe have been buried on the depth chart for a couple of years, and they make the most of them. Throughout all of this and the way that the team has been managed, completely agree with you. But it seems like every game we talk about a couple of play calls where we just kind of scratch our heads and go, I'm not sure what he was thinking there. And you already know the 2-play sequence I'm going to talk about that led to Harburg's fumble, which was the option pass. You're up 24 rip. Matt Rule said we're being aggressive. Why? Your defense is dominating this game. I mean, just run the clock out, eat up time of possession, have 40 minutes in time of possession, and call it a day. I guess I didn't understand the aggressiveness there. I didn't see any need for it whatsoever. And then obviously Harburg gets his bell rung, his mouth is bleeding, etc. What do you make of Marcus Satterfield with these? Just like he calls a good game, but there's always these outliers where we question it. It seems like.
Yeah, and Rule obviously had Marcus Satterfield's back, and he did explain it in the post game, and you referenced it there. He wants to keep attacking, keep playing. Rule does. It could be too that Satterfield is calling the game with his boss in mind. we want it. We want to keep attacking. We don't want to go into a shell. And then I know the other call you would say is probably the 4th and 1 with Sims in the game running out of the shotgun. Now Matt did say that the wrong play call went in. 2 guys went the wrong way. So there you go. It's unfortunate. I'm basically with you. At least we got an explanation, and I do like aggressiveness. But I'm of the mind you just keep handing it off. I'd say run basic run plays.
Well,
that worked. That worked late. I mean, it
Yeah.
worked after that flurry of sort of unnecessary buffoonery, I'd call it. they did settle in and just ran. And you saw what happened. That was beautiful at the end, I thought. When everybody knew they were running, Emmett Johnson was getting some tough yards, and then boom, he broke one. Big credit to Emmett, big credit to the offensive line. But I get what you're saying. I'll tell you what, though. I've never been a guy to question play calls. You know, I've worked so closely with coaches, and what I always say is there's just so much I don't know in that situation. I don't know if someone blew an assignment. I don't know exactly what was being asked. Like for instance, the 4th and 1. I didn't know that the wrong play went in at the time. I didn't know 2 guys botched the assignment with the wrong way, which fouled up the entire play. I don't know that stuff, and maybe if the plays ran correctly, it works, and we're not having a conversation. So I don't spend a lot of time second guessing calls because there's too much information I don't know.
I hear people say over and over, Sip, that Nebraska's just playing to their strengths with this offense, and maybe that's the case. But I also hear people say, "Man, I love the option. I wish Harburg would pitch it more or run it better." But if you would have told me he was 6 of 11, I would have thought that must be at the half or something like that. Tom Osborne threw it more than that, even on windy days. Is this the identity that you could see going forward, or is this just because Nebraska has so many injuries and this is the strength of their team that this is a 1-year experiment with the option?
Well, it always, to me, it's a simple answer. And I think I think a lot of coaches do a good job of this. It's just dependent on your personnel. You coach to your personnel. You see what you have and you do what you can to make it work, which is what they've done. I can't answer that. If there's if we see in the final stretch run here, Heinrich Harburg make significant, discernible strides, maybe you would deem him the quarterback of the future. I can't do that right now. But maybe in the portal, if they go find a player who's similar to Heinrich and Sims, maybe you just keep going this way. It wasn't their intent, obviously, because you've heard him say they've had to learn. Marcus Satterfield's never coached an offense that ran option like this. They learned from Ron Brown. They've learned from Tom Osborne. Tom Osborne watches film. Ron Brown, longtime Nebraska assistant, has been integral in helping them understand how to do this. Satterfield had to learn it. And I give those guys, these new guys, Satterfield, Rule, et cetera, a lot of credit for doing that. And not, you got to kind of put your pride aside right there, and they did, and it's worked out. I like Heinrich when he turns the corner. He means business. It's business time when he turns the corner on the option. He's a tough runner, and it's worked, And now he's pitching it a little, and Emmett Johnson shows a degree of proficiency in running it. You saw on level number 4, I think that was an option play. There was at least a pitch to the right in the second half, and he put the best player on the defense on his back. Those are significant moments for this team.
Sip, before Tom and I get flagged for unnecessary buffoonery, I want to ask you, that's one of the greatest new terms I've ever heard. I might get it tattooed. I'm going to ask you right now to tell me who is playing representing the Big Ten West in the Big Ten title game.
Yep.
If you had to pin me down, I looked at it last week. I think Minnesota. I know they
Really?
have Ohio State left, but I think that might be their only loss, and they would have all the tiebreakers if that's the case. If they're able to beat Wisconsin in the regular season final, huge rivalry game. I'd lean toward Minnesota right now because they've beaten Nebraska and they've beaten Iowa, and they have a shot to beat Wisconsin. They'll have an excellent shot to beat Wisconsin. So that'd be my pick right now.
Cool. I know it sounds negative, but if you're a Nebraska fan, you really don't want to play in that game at this point.
I totally disagree with that. I'm not being disparaging. Of course you want to play in it. I mean, I think you absolutely want to play in it. And maybe it wouldn't even be Michigan. And if it wasn't, Ohio State, you have to deal with the best player in America, but they're not overwhelming up front. Like Michigan is. And Penn State's not overwhelming at all. I think it would be either Ohio State or Michigan. Yeah, a rematch with Michigan. It's not. Listen, a lot of people would check right out of that. But I just think anytime you can be in a championship game, you want to do it. And I guarantee you, Matt Rule would stiff arm the notion of not wanting to play in it.
Right.
Yeah. It would be a huge feather in Nebraska's cap.
Well,
if they could get to the Big Ten championship game, I think it would be amazing.
Well, the destiny is in their hands. There's a 4-way tie. I mean, there's everybody's 5-3, 3-2 in the league, so it's not unreasonable. I think every game from here on out is certainly winnable. Great stuff, Steve. As always, we love your show. Early Break with Sip and Jake and Bill Bush, and all your stuff with Husker Online.
Well, thank you, guys. You do a great job, too, and we'll do it again soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Steve Sipple. I was going to ask if he was going to head over to the game, but maybe not. It's an exhibition.
And he's never been one to take in a lot of Nebraska basketball.
But he enjoys it.
Oh, yeah.
And he writes about it periodically.
We have an update, though, from Devaney. Halftime, Nebraska 38, Doane 27. Boogie Coleman banked in a 3 in the final seconds. Let's see. Everybody who scored has at least 1 point. Keisei Tominaga, however, rolled an ankle and has not returned.
Ooh.
So that is not good.
So not only Rick Mass, Josiah Alec, and who else? Jawan Gary. They're all out. And now Keisei Tominaga.
Yes. I mean, no, it's an exhibition game. Why would you worry about bringing him back?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
So,
but you would like to, maybe get a little rust. Right. I think it's Linwood next week.
Yeah.
You want to get a little rust off, but I don't see it as being a big deal. If all those players were playing and they were up 38-27, I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah.
But I'm not concerned because nobody that will be starting, or a lot of the guys that will be starting, are not playing tonight. So, but we'll update you on the Husker basketball score live from PVA. But we've got to talk a little Husker volleyball a little bit later on the show. That's about an hour from, actually a half an hour from now, with Tanya Taki of Nebraska 1. But we haven't done, I think we're going to do our grades.
Okay.
We'll do our grades from yesterday, and we'll do it next.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs, or get down with some dumbbells and strength equipment. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month. It's glow time. See Club for details.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff, who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Okay, everybody, ready to go caroling?
Are the people in your neighborhood nice?
Oh, you bet. Well, everybody except
Mr. Carpenter.
Now, come on, Jim. He's just a little cranky.
Are you kidding? Last year, he chased us down the street with a rake.
I'm sure he was just having a bad day. Now, here's his house. Everybody smile and get ready to run.
Well, hello, everyone. It's so great to see you all. Are you okay, Mr. Carpenter? Oh, yes. I just bought a bunch of Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic scratch tickets. Until January 3rd, 2024, when you enter non-winning holiday tickets online, you have a chance to win $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000. Talk about a classic little Christmas. In fact, I'm so merry, I'd like to give you all some tickets.
Oh, what a nice gesture, Mr. Carpenter. Is there anything we can do for you?
Yeah, shovel my driveway. And don't sing.
Top prize odds vary by game. Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska. Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
October is full of sports, with football and volleyball reaching midseason and basketball and winter sports starting up. All the excitement of the games brings major stress, and stress causes tight muscles and pain. It's time to call The Body Shop, your place in Lincoln for all types of massages. Deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Eliminate the pain from sports watching stress today with a massage at The Body Shop at 48th and A and online at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
This is Sunday Rewind on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Tom Stevens, Mike Melby, Husker Rewind every Sunday, 5 to 7. This is the point of the show where we usually do our grades. Nebraska, of course, a big 31-14 win yesterday at Memorial Stadium over Purdue. It's the first undefeated October since 2001. Nebraska's won 3 in a row. First time they've done that since 2016. Won 5 of 6 after starting the year 0-2. So Nebraska now can get bowl eligible with a win over Michigan State. But we do the grades about this time every week. The grades were mixed.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I think I covered. Yeah, I did. I covered every single grade possible.
I didn't give out any F's or D's. I just didn't. But it was definitely mixed. The run game, Nebraska rushed for 155 yards on 48 carries, 3.2, nothing special there. Emmett Johnson was really good. Another game with right around 76 yards. He needs to get more carries. He had the 28-yard touchdown run to seal the game. He averaged 5.8 a carry. Heinrich Harburg, they keyed on him. It was something that Matt Rule had mentioned in the postgame show that they had a safety spying him, and it definitely showed. He ran 19 times for 22 yards. Joshua Fleeks, 3 carries. Anthony Grant, another game with not many carries, 6 carries, 18 yards.
My question is, why did Henrik Harburg have 19 carries? Why didn't Emmett Johnson have 19 carries? That's what I don't understand.
Right. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more of that power formation that we saw at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I know that you were a little upset that Nebraska was throwing in a situation where they're up 24-0 or, running the option with Harburg in that situation. Give it to, he's taking a lot of hits. Maybe he'd take a few less hits.
And then the play call after that is what bugged me. It was a design quarterback run.
Yeah.
Like the dude just got
and
lit
they said
up.
the wrong play came into the wrong
No,
formation.
that was on 4th down.
Yeah.
That was a totally different. No, but that's where I just, we'll get to the play calling later. Run game though for me, C. I mean, good, average, whatever.
I said
it's
C
passing.
minus. 5 fumbles really hurts. And not all of those happened on the offense. There were a few the opening kickoff.
Well, I was going to say, you've got 2 guys that are not normally part of a return game, punt or kick, that fumbled.
No.
So,
yeah. And but Harburg did have 2 of those fumbles, and he was replaced in the game by Jeff Sims in part because of those fumbles. So that's part of the run game, and I did give Nebraska C minus. Versus the run, Nebraska, another nice effort. Purdue rushed 29 times for just 96 yards, 3.3 a carry. They had a long of 16 yards, that by Devin Maccabee. And I believe that carry ended in a fumble.
Yeah,
where
Jamari Butler knocked it out.
Yeah, he was stripped on that. So he had 1 fumble. He had 7 carries for 42 yards. Not much there. He's a good back. He's a slippery back, and Nebraska really covered him.
Tell Eric Chenander that.
That's right. That is exactly right. So what'd you give on the run game?
A. Run D is an A. Hands down.
I did as well.
I don't know how. I mean, there's the curve is a inverted curve to not give it an A+ every week, it seems like, anymore.
Yep.
But man, they're just so dominant.
It's time to say they're just not a good run defense. They're just a really good defense. Their pass, the pass game was not great. It was not terrible. It was just okay. I gave him a C. Heinrich Harburg, 6 of 11, 122. He did have 2 TDs. He didn't throw a pick. His QBR was right around 67. Nothing special. It was nice to see Jalen Lloyd in the act. 1 catch, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Joshua Fleeks had a couple of catches for 24 yards. Jaden Doss got in the act. They tried to get Malachi Coleman involved again this week, and he drew an interference pass.
He got mugged.
I'd like to see him on the reverse more, but I gave him a C for the pass game.
Same here. They didn't lean on it. They didn't maybe feel they needed to, other than when they were up 24-0. But
I thought they put the game away with that Lloyd pass to make it 21-0 but then they tried to give it away after that.
Well, the Lloyd pass made it 14.
Oh, 14-0.
The return
14-0.
Yeah, but yeah, pass game C. I mean, again, it was good. It wasn't great. Some areas to get better, and away you go.
Versus the pass, I thought Hudson Card was not very good. He was 16 of 32, 100 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. He had a QBR of 10. Jaden Dixon-Veal had 4 catches, 38 yards. We had a couple of picks from Tommy Hill. He had a nice game. Quentin Newsom was fantastic. Once again, the secondary was good, but everything was good. The pass rush is still very good. No complaints from me. I gave him an A against the pass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same thing here. The funny thing, and this is where, like, a Heinrich Harburg in Hudson Card's place yesterday would have run for 200 yards.
Yeah.
He had so many opportunities to take off, and there was 10 to 12 to 20 yards that was there to get
I
had.
didn't get it.
And he didn't take off.
Although I will say that Nebraska's pursuit, you think you have a running lane, and they're very quick to the ball.
Granted, but at the same time, I mean, the quarterback and bottom line, they had several drops as well. But at the end of the day, you know what? When you're worried about somebody that, you watched on film light somebody up, and you see that guy when you make your break to catch the ball, maybe you think about it.
I wasn't sure in the third quarter why Purdue and Hudson Card was throwing into the wind. And that one pick from Tommy Hill was a big one to kind of help Nebraska in the momentum there. But he threw right into the wind. He had a guy open, but you're just not going to make that pass into a 30-mile-an-hour wind. We know that well enough to watch game. We've watched a lot of games at Memorial Stadium, and it's just really hard to do to be effective throwing into that kind of a wind. Special teams, I gave him a B. You did have the kickoff fumble. You had a very mixed bag in the special teams. You had a kickoff fumble. You had the Bullock fumble, which I believe they got back.
Quentin Newsom fell on that.
You had the 55-yard Tristan Alvano kick, which was the longest since Alex Henry did it in 2008, a 57-yarder. Then you had the blocked field goal by Elijah Judy, the return by Quentin Newsom. So you had a really mixed bag, but I gave him a B.
I separated special teams into the return teams, who I gave an F, and everybody else, and I gave him a B+.
Did you notice at the end of the game, and this was a smart move by Matt Rule or whoever made the decision to do this, Purdue was punting into the wind, and he said, everybody run up. They had no back man. They had nobody back to return the punt. He didn't want anybody near that punt. And it was good. It was not going to go very far anyway because it was into the wind. It was just a smart move by Nebraska. You would hope that you wouldn't have to do that, but Nebraska did. At least they didn't fumble that one. Overall, I gave them a B+. They're one game away from being bowl eligible. They're 5-3. They're in a 4-way tie in the Big Ten West. Would you like? Steve said, I want to see them play the Big Ten championship game. Do you?
Yeah. I'll tell you, I get the whole. I had the logic. Nebraska volleyball needs to lose in order to make sure that they don't have the pressure of having to maintain this unbeaten. No, Tanya was 100% right. No, you don't need to lose. You need to win every game. And at the end of the day, and it goes back to the story that was reported by just about everybody. Matt Rule's running off the field, and a fan yells, just get us one more. And he's like, why only one? Like, what's your problem? I want to win them all.
How upset would the Big Ten higher-ups be if Nebraska beat Ohio State or Michigan in the Big Ten championship game, knowing that maybe knocks you out of a playoff spot?
I don't know that anybody would be overly upset. I mean, it'd be a great story.
They might still get in. I mean, who knows? If they're undefeated going to that game, they probably still could get in.
Yeah. And that's the bottom line. I think Sip was right. A rematch against Michigan is going to be a pretty tall tale
for anybody.
But I mean, hey, you know what? With this defense, I get it. You got to deal with Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State, but I'd take Penn State on this year. I'd take Ohio State on and figure out. You know what? Put Marvin Harrison Jr. against Tony White and his thought process on how to defend Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. I'd love to see that.
If I knew that they weren't stealing signs and that you could play them again and you had a healthy offense, then I would be maybe somewhat more confident. The offense really scares me, how banged up they are. They're so banged up.
I don't disagree, but I would rather let them have the experience of playing for a championship than not. So
there you go. Much more to come on the show. We have to do our Big Ten Blitz. We go through all the games. We rank the teams. We do that. Tanya Taki within the next 20 minutes as well, talking Husker volleyball. It's all coming up. He's Mike Melby. I'm Tom Stevens. It's Husker Rewind.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
October is full of sports, with football and volleyball reaching mid-season and basketball and winter sports starting up. All the excitement of the games brings major stress, and stress causes tight muscles and pain. It's time to call The Body Shop, your place in Lincoln for all types of massages. Deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Eliminate the pain from sports watching stress today with a massage at The Body Shop at 48th and A and online at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
When you were a kid,
clubs are cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over. Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. October is pork month, and here are the specials for the week of October 23rd. Enjoy all-natural, thick-cut Iowa chops for $1.88 per pound, extra meaty pork loin back ribs for $3.99 per pound, and bacon-wrapped pork tenderloin, 2 for $5 for 6 ounces of meat. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
This is Sunday Rewind on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Husker Rewind here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Mike Belby. That's Tom Stevens.
Hello.
And I think it is time for the Big Ten Blitz.
The Big Ten Blitz. The Big Ten Blitz. The Big Ten Blitz. The Big Ten Blitz.
Before I jump into Penn State and Indiana, a quick score update. Nebraska's opened up a 17-point lead in the second half, 51-34 the score. Keisei Tominaga rolled his ankle. There is pictures of the ankle roll on the internet. It is nasty. He came out in a sweatshirt, under his own power, no boot, no crutches.
Well, that's good.
So that's good. Hopefully, I mean, I'm guessing he's going to miss a game or two, but hopefully it's a speedy recovery because that's a nasty ankle twist. Holy smokes. Penn State survived an upset scare by Indiana yesterday. 33-24 was the final. Drew Aller's first interception of the season late in the game gave Indiana a shot at the upset, but the Hoosiers managed a whopping 4 yards from the Penn State 21. They have to kick a field goal, which tied the game at 24. Aller then redeemed himself just over a minute later when he hit Keandre Lambert-Smith for a 57-yard touchdown. For the game, Aller, 20 of 31 for 210 yards, 3 TDs and that 1 interception. Katron Allen added 81 yards on the ground for the Nittany Lions. Brendan Storsby went 13 of 19 for 269 and 3 scores. He did have a pick for Indiana. So they put up a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
Next up for Penn State is a trip to Maryland, while Indiana will host Wisconsin. But Tom Allen, we talked about it all last year. I don't know how he survived.
I don't either.
I don't know how he survives this year.
And people say that's not a good job. Well, it's not a bad job because of Big Ten money. You could pay a coach $5-6 million a year. Well, that's a decent one.
That's the whole thing. Don't sit there and tell me that any job in the Big Ten is not a good job.
Yeah.
Your
Every
athletic department's going to get $70 to $80 million from the Big Ten Conference. Figure out how to make it a good job.
Penn State has struggled running the football. The 43 carries, 132, 3.1 average against a decent Indiana team, or defense, that is. But that's not a good look. 33-24. It feels like a game where they just had a hangover over last week. Northwestern beats Maryland 33-27. The same team that Nebraska beat. Northwestern is now 4-4 after going 1-11 last year. They were without co-offensive coordinator Kevin Sumlin, who was arrested October 22nd for driving under the influence. Brendan Sullivan looked much better on Saturday than he did against Nebraska. He threw for 265, 16 of 23, 2 TDs. He ran for 56. He looked really under control.
Yeah, he did.
They're much better at home than they are on the road. That is Northwestern, but that's a good win over a decent Maryland team.
Yeah, it is. And my little note that I put on this, I said, remember how Matt Rule said last week that Northwestern is not a team that is going to quit or just simply lie down? Well, somebody should have forwarded that message onto Mike Loxley and the Maryland Terrapins.
Don't they do that every year? That is Maryland, where they look like, oh, hey, they're going to be good this year, and then nothing.
Yeah.
In the second half of the year.
I don't know. It's so bizarre, but whatever. Yeah. Hey, we got them coming to town in 2 weeks.
No, we'll take that version of Maryland.
Exactly. Michigan State at Minnesota. Michigan State drops their 6th in a row since the firing of Mel Tucker, 27-12 in Minneapolis to the Fighting PJ Flex. Minnesota was without its top 2 running backs, Darius Taylor and Zach Evans. However, Jordan Newman, filled in quite nicely. Yeah. Thank you very much. 204 yards and a couple of scores on 40 carries.
He was a defensive back last year for Minnesota.
Yeah. And he'd had 8 carries or something so far this year. He totes the rock 40 times, 204 yards. Ethan Kaliak-Manis threw for 200 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I thought Kaliak-Manis was actually going to be a pretty good quarterback, and he's just not really that good of a quarterback.
He's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, by Big Ten West standards, he's actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best. But
yeah.
Next week, Minnesota hosts Illinois and Michigan State, as we are all too ready to get to that game and see if we can get bowl eligible.
That's right.
Michigan State hosts Nebraska next Saturday.
Ohio State over Wisconsin. It was a pretty good game for most of that game. Ohio State improves to 8-0 on the season. They're number 3 in the country. They beat Wisconsin 24-10. Kyle McCord 17-26 for 226, 2 TDs. He also had 2 picks, but Marvin Harrison was fantastic again. He got 2 TDs for 123 yards. Also, Travion Henderson, it's nice to have that guy back. 24 carries, 162, and a TD. Braylon Allen, he was out due to a leg injury, and so was Chamir Dyke, their wide receiver. So they have a couple of injuries to watch if you're a Wisconsin fan. Braylon Allen didn't have a lot of success anyway, 10 carries for 50 yards. Wisconsin struggled running the football, only 94 yards on the ground, 3.8 per carry. Brendan Locke is decent, but nothing to write home about. Wisconsin is at Indiana this coming week, and Ohio State is at Rutgers. So there you go.
This just in from Devaney. Boogie Coleman can get to the hoop. Yeah, I mean, he's got 10 second half points, and all of them are just simply they're kind of reminiscent of a faster paced Sam Griesel getting to the bucket.
I can't wait to see. He's one of those guys that I'm most interested in, among most interested in watching. Brink Mass would be in that category. I really want to see what he can do. We already know what Casey. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
But I just think if he's what we think he could be, he might change this team.
Yeah.
A long guy, not the most athletic guy, but just really court savvy, has a lot of smarts.
Yeah, and like Greasel last year, you'd see it would seem like it would take the entire shot clock for him to break a guy down and back him down and get to the rim and get an and one or make a layup. And they just had a couple of highlights that I watched off some of the feeds, and Boogie Coleman just goes about his business, a little half turn this way, changes directions, crossover, spin move, gets himself free, lays it off the glass, bounces off the back of the rim, front of the rim, side of the rim, goes in.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you're playing Doan. I get it. But 10 second half points for him. Huskers are up 17.
All right. I can't wait to watch him more and see who he compares to from years gone by. So ranking the teams, there are 4 teams from the West now tied at 3-2, all 5-3 as well. Rutgers, Iowa, Michigan, Illinois all had byes in the Big Ten this week. Michigan and Ohio State, I don't know who to put on top. I think Ohio State just had the better schedule, so I'm going to rank them number 1. And Michigan number 2, Penn State number 3. I'm going to go Minnesota number 4, Iowa 5th, and then I've got a bunch of teams kind of there. Wisconsin 6th, maybe Iowa. I'm going to put Wisconsin at 6, and then a bunch of teams kind of there at 7 with Nebraska, Maryland, and Rutgers. I've got Illinois and Northwestern at 8, and then Purdue, Michigan State, and Indiana all tied for last.
Yeah, I've got Michigan on top, Ohio State, then Penn State. And then I'll be honest, I've got Rutgers at 4 for the plain fact that they're 6-2 overall. I get it. They're 3-2, like all these other teams they're grouped with.
Yeah.
But I had them above Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska, and Minnesota, who basically they're in the same order I had them last week.
Yep.
They're all just up 1 spot. And then I dropped Maryland down to 9th. Otherwise, Illinois, Northwestern, Purdue, Indiana, Michigan State. I mean, in all reality, your top 2 are a coin toss. Penn State is easily number 3. And then 4 through 9 are a coin flip.
Yeah.
And 10 through, call it 13, a coin flip. And then Michigan State just is right now not in good shape.
I think you're completely justified to put Michigan or put Rutgers at 4 over Minnesota. Minnesota always seems to find a way at the end of the year. But I don't always buy Rutgers, but maybe this is the year that I should. It's been since 2014 that they've been to, they got the COVID year.
Yeah, 21 because of Texas Tech or Texas A&M.
But they had a 4-8 record that year that they went to a bowl game. So they're a legitimate 6-2 this year. They're a legitimate bowl team this year. And Schiano, I thought he would do it much sooner at Rutgers than he has, but it finally feels like he's got that thing moving in the right direction. It's the top 3, and then you can really rank them any way you want to after that. It's just a very top-heavy league. In fact, I just don't see another team outside of the big 3 that could win a New Year's Day game right now. Maybe.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and I get it. Before we get accused of jumping on bandwagons or Kool-Aid or believing blah, 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 I'm saying right now that Rutgers, Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Minnesota, Maryland, all of them could win a New Year's Day game if they played. And I heard you were talking with Sam McEwen and Tom Chattel earlier on the Husker Extra Hour. And I will tell you right now that any of those teams could win a New Year's Day game if they played their best game.
Yeah,
because that's what McEwen was talking about.
It's about matchups.
I
guess
it is.
It's a lot about matchups.
Bottom line, if Nebraska comes out and doesn't turn the ball over, right, and is able to just be average offensively with that defense not being put in a hole over and over again, I think they could compete with some of a top 25 team, which is who you're going to face on a New Year's Day bowl. But bottom line is they got to win 1 to get to 6 to get bowl eligible before they even think about it. And that's got to be the focus this week for Matt Rule is figure out a way to go 1-0 this week.
And I like the fact that they don't ever look too far ahead. It's the next rep. It's the next practice. It's, the next, what's next is one of their slogans. And it feels like, I guess I sometimes grade a culture when I see players acting more like the coaches, and they really have embraced the what's next. Win the rep, win this week, go 1-0, that type of thing mentality. And it feels like, maybe because they're winning, that's a big part of it. I mean, if they were saying all these things and not winning, it wouldn't really matter. But they're winning on top of it, And I think that they see that the process really works.
Well, and go back 5 years. We didn't hear a whole lot of different things from Scott Frost and his staff. They just failed to win the games.
Yeah.
And the thing that always struck me as odd, there were a lot of things that struck me as odd, but one thing that stood out to this day still does is Scott Frost basically saying his team just needs a break. And I'm like, good teams make their own breaks, man. Yeah. Like you need somebody on the other team.
When he said that, I was like, oh, no,
just
you didn't
drop
just say
the ball.
That.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Matt Rule saying that?
If Matt Rule ever said that, he'd probably say, you know what? If I've got that mentality, I shouldn't be coaching football.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the comment that he made a couple of weeks ago. Like, Coach, I mean, I think I'm just thinking too much. And he was like, stop. Just stop. Go play. This is ridiculous. I'm tired of this mentality. This try not to lose mentality. And he's really good at getting his message across because you're hearing it a lot from the players, repeating the message over and over. From the NFL, might have the upset of the year if it happens. The Denver Broncos over the Kansas City Chiefs, 21-9 right now.
Yeah, Mahomes is playing with the flu. I know that.
And this is in the fourth quarter. 2 minutes left to go. So they're going to win.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The Denver Broncos, who got 70 rung up on them by the Miami Dolphins just a few weeks ago, are going to beat I thought, the best team in the league, the Kansas City Chiefs. So you never know. It's the NFL.
Week to week it changes, but hands down, week in, week out, the 49ers, man, are just so scary.
Although they're getting beat in the fourth quarter, and they're going to get beat again.
Really?
For 3 weeks in a row, the Bengals are going to beat the 49ers. They're up 31-17 with 19 seconds left to go in the fourth.
You know, it's so funny. After the way the Bengals started this year, they were 0-2 again and maybe even 0-3, but they were not playing well. There was people in Cincinnati calling for Zach Taylor's head.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
they do this every year. I think it gets frustrating. It's like, why can't you start 2-0 instead of 0-2 every year? You might want to, try that. But they seem to do it and then come back from it with no problems. The Ravens might be the best team in the league. I mean, Lamar is playing really good football, and they're beating the Cardinals, who aren't great, but 31-15 with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter there. The Vikings, they win today. It was a pillow fight with the Packers, 24-10, but they very well could have lost Kirk Cousins for the rest of the year. We'll see what comes. It looked like an ankle originally, but now maybe an Achilles. And that's a long-term thing. He went down under his own power. He was not contacted when he went down, and those are sometimes the worst. Dolphins, no problem over the Patriots, 31-17. Jets beat the Giants in overtime, 13-10.
Nice.
Jaguars, 20-10 over the Steelers. You had the Titans beating the Falcons. You had the Panthers over the Texans. Saints beat the Colts. It was the Eagles over the Commanders. DP is not happy, 38-31. Seattle over the Browns. It was the Bengals, as I mentioned, beating the 49ers. The Bears and Chargers tonight. Bills and Buccaneers was played on Thursday, 24-18. Bills win that one.
Trey Palmer had 3 catches for 22 yards.
Do you have him on your fantasy team?
I do, actually. I haven't played him yet, but I've got him on the fantasy team. I noticed you didn't mention my Cowboys.
Oh, did I miss that one? They did. They did.
I thought you were doing it on purpose.
No, I didn't mention the Cowboys. I just I missed the Cowboys score for some reason. What was the? Oh yeah, they won 43-20 over the Rams. Cowboys played really well.
That's not a bad win.
But if I ignore the Cowboys, it's probably intentional. Even if it's even if it's subjective. I'm not a big Cowboys fan. My brother is a big Cowboys fan, just like you, and Dave Sanderson, our other buddy, is a big Cowboys fan. And there's a lot. They're America's team. So
okay, you know the players available. Before we get to Tanya, you know the players that are available that are on the court. Who do you think is leading Nebraska in scoring right now?
Well, you said Boogie Coleman with 10 points
in the second half. And I'll tell you that
I'll go 10, with Boogie.
He has got 10 for the game.
Okay,
but and one just a moment ago to, I think, put Nebraska up by 21.
What's Bryce Williams doing?
Williams had, I want to say 8 last time I saw.
Okay.
But no, Sam Hoiberg with 13.
Interesting. The guy that, I mean, we've always said this about Fred Hoiberg. You usually criticize a coach for not playing his son.
Or for playing
his son. Oh, yeah, for playing. We criticized Hoiberg for not playing his son last year, and it turns out he is one of the best 10. I don't know if he's one of the best 10 this year, but he's certainly one of the best 12 on that team. He should play. He should play a lot.
Oh, big time.
Let's get to break, come back with more. Tanya Taki of Nebraska One. She's the head coach there, and we'll talk Husker volleyball next.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Up your kitchen game with Kitchen Tune-Up. With experienced, creative, and dedicated technicians on their team, Jason, Ron, and the team bring your kitchen dreams to life. Say goodbye to outdated spaces and hello to a renewed, personalized kitchen that will make you the envy of your friends, neighbors, and family. Experience quality craftsmanship and exceptional customer service when you choose Kitchen Tune-Up. Visit kitchentuneup.com/Lincoln-NE today or call 402-200-4697 and achieve the kitchen tune-up of your dreams.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln, and with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily, and not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine, with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow, what about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
USTOP is a proud member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Remember, every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with the Lincoln Children's Museum. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
On the block with Strick and Austin.
Yes, the rest of the roster has to elevate the quarterback, but the quarterback also has to elevate the rest of the roster. Haven't seen from Heinrich Harburg yet. I'm willing to give him the rest of the year. I'm willing to say that he can be the guy next year, but then you have to have realistic expectations in mind for Nebraska, and to me, that's 6 or 7 wins.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This is Sunday Rewind on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Husker Rewind. Every Sunday from 5 to 7 right here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. If you're watching on the Starter Heyman live stream, all shows that are broadcast live from the studio here at 11th and O are streamed on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as channel 951 on Allo. Allo, the proud sponsor of our VIP line. Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We are efforting on that Allo VIP line. Tanya Taki, to talk a little bit about Nebraska volleyball. Now, if you want to be a part of the show as well, you can text in on the Sutter Heyman text line or Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. Nebraska volleyball over the weekend sweeps Maryland and Rutgers, and it was just kind of alarming at how dominant Nebraska got as both matches wore on. And I don't mean alarming in a bad way. It just in one of those where you shake your head and go, they might be better than we thought. And I think everybody thinks they're really damn good.
Because if there was a chance to sleepwalk, it was this weekend, right? Maryland, Rutgers, not two of the better teams in volleyball, the Big Ten. Nebraska knows that they, maybe we'll have to go 4 sets, but we're going to win this match. But they didn't take that mentality. I think the mentality is get better, try to get better, and continue the winning streak. And they're 21-0.
Yeah, and it's a match against two teams that are, middle of the pack, maybe not quite middle of the pack in the Big Ten. And then you go on the road with one of your tougher contests before the season, and it's going to be when next Friday night rolls around when you're going to be in Happy Valley taking on Penn State. Yeah. And so, they just did what they do. Harper Murray on Friday night winds up continuing what she started in the 5th set in the win against Wisconsin. And just absolutely is dominant. She wound up hitting, I think, 423, which was a career high, 16 kills in the game. And you just sit there and you're like, wow. She has the look and the making of somebody that, is going to wind up being a 4-time All-American at Nebraska.
Nebraska's 10 wins. They have 10 wins this year over ranked teams, including the 5-set win over number 1 Wisconsin when they were number 1. Nebraska's now number 1. It's the best start since 2008 for Nebraska. That team had Jordan Larson on it and Sidney Anderson and Caleb Banworth. They're also chasing a couple of other teams. The 2006 team started 23-0. That seems very feasible that Nebraska can get to that. The 2005 team went 28-0 to start the season. We talked about it a little bit last week. Do you really want to be undefeated, or would you rather have a loss? Heck, just go undefeated at this point. You're 21-0. You might as well just be undefeated the entire year.
I agree. And we brought that up with Tanya last week, and that was kind of the point. She's like, no, the only way that I want to have a loss is if it's a loss at Wisconsin. We're going to come back and pay them back in the Big Ten tournament, pay them back in the NCAA tournament when we face them, because more than likely, I think you're going to have to go through Wisconsin a 3rd time this year to get to the national title.
It'll be interesting to see if John Cook decides on either Batenhorst or Krause, if he just continues to go back and forth. I know Krause's been injured as of late, was in a boot last week, and so Batenhorst has been playing more, had 13 kills last night and hit 545. I think they're just a little bit different. Batenhorst, the better blocker. Krause, probably the better hitter.
Yeah, it's Lindsey Krause's job, I'm pretty sure. Just the injuries kind of kept her out. But the thing is, this is the nice thing about having a team that is so deep. You're bringing a former number one player in the country, and Allie Batenhorst, off the bench. And it's not quite the same because Allie Batenhorst wasn't a first-team All-American the prior year. But Lexi Sun got hurt, lost her job to guess who? Allie Batenhorst, when Batenhorst was a freshman. Yeah. And now Allie, as just Lindsey Krause, has really turned it on this year. And we saw it in the red-white scrimmage. She had like an astronomical number of attacks.
Yeah.
I think she was in the 60s. It was crazy. And she's really finding a rhythm. And, unfortunate with the injury. Hopefully she gets back soon. But the thing is, Allie Batenhorst is just doing everything that she's being asked to do.
And I like the way John Cook has phrased it. Hey, you're not on the bench. You're a game changer. If the game needs you, I'm going to put you in, and I want you to change the game. And both Krause and Batenhorst have done that at times this year. And we've seen that from Kennedy Orr with the serving.
That's the funny thing. Like he can say that, and probably has, to every single one of the players. Every one of them on the bench, that they've had a spot this year that they needed to come in and play. They needed to make a play. They needed to be a difference maker in a match. Maggie Bosinger, when Lainey Choboy had the concussion, and it's like, hey, we need you. We need you to step up. We need you to serve. We need you to be a defensive specialist. Go just do your job. And she went out and played fabulous.
And it's interesting how you listen to coaches, and a lot of them say the same thing. I mean, John Cook has said for years, trust your training. And I hear Matt Rule say that a lot as well. Hey, I know Jalen Lloyd, you're a freshman. I know Malachi Coleman, you're a freshman. Trust your training. We need you to step up now. And I think that's the same message. Now, the quality of talent of this volleyball team is a little out of this world. It's crazy good. It's a Duke basketball type good. And Nebraska is loaded on the bench, and ultimately girls, might drift away if they don't eventually become a starter at Nebraska. But it's a nice problem to have, that you can bring off a Batenhorst or a Krause or a Bosinger, as you mentioned, or whoever it might be that comes off the bench and changes the game like that.
Well, Maggie Middleton last night, she replaced Becca Alec in the lineup. Becca didn't play last night.
Yep.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how you were talking about, does somebody decide, hey, I want more time, I want to play more? They might. Ani Evans is a prime example. She knew she was probably going to be, once again, the third setter, maybe be a serving specialist like she had been at times in the first 2 years that she was at Nebraska. But she goes out and she's playing out in California now. I believe she went to Long Beach.
Yep.
And I get it. Some people are going to want to do that. And I think JB mentioned when we spoke to him last week, something that tells you a little bit about the type of person some of the players are that we have. And I'm going to use Lainey Choboy as the example, and it's what Baylor alluded to, was she's one of the best liberos in the country in high school. She's going to go to a school that has the best libero in college volleyball, and she's going to have to sit behind her for 2 years.
Right.
So what does Lainey Choboy do? She's like, I want to be a part of this. I want to compete, because if I compete against her on a day-to-day basis and I try to unseat her, she gets better, and I learn how to get as good as she is and maybe even better someday. And then you look at the way she plays the game, the joy in what she plays the game, the fire, the passion. And that is somebody that is truly about team, selfless. And you just sit there and you're like, man, I'm glad she plays for us.
Well, I've never had more fun watching volleyball, and I've watched it every year for years and years and years. But this team is just so much fun to watch, and we'll continue to watch them as they head down the stretch. If you told me they went undefeated, I'd be a little surprised, but not completely stunned. No. I mean, because they're that good right now. They're just playing amazing volleyball. We have the picks of density. Last week, Tanya joined us for it. And she picked it. She picked based on the volleyball teams, the strength of those schools and their volleyball teams, and she beat us badly.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. So we had Oklahoma, Kansas, and I thought Oklahoma was going to roll. I don't know why. I just did. I felt like the almost upset the week before was not a sign of things to come. I thought it was a wake up call.
Right.
It was not. KU wins outright, and you and Tanya had it. I did not. Oregon, Utah stumped you and I. We both thought that Utah was going to, I thought they were going to win.
Right.
They got smoked. Both of us were stunned. However, Oregon's a better volleyball school than Utah is.
And that's the way she was picking them.
And so she picked that one.
That's funny. So we're going to do our picks of density. She will not be joining us this week, but she's going to try to do that whenever she can. And just pick the schools based on their volleyball program, not their football program. But we will do our picks of density, and we'll do it coming up next.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Be sure and call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technician will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken dips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
This is Rick Heyman, president of Sartor Heyman Jewelers. My father, Don, always insisted that Sartor Heyman never compromise. Not on quality, not on value, and not on customer service. For that reason, you can be sure that every item of jewelry you purchase from Sartor Heyman is the very best, no matter how small or how large. When it comes to jewelry, if we don't have it, you don't want it. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island, and SartorHeyman.com.
It's football season, and that means coaches everywhere are busy making game plans. I'm Matt Knipe with Liberty Law Group. Teams make game plans because no two opponents are the same. At Liberty Law, we understand that no two cases are the same. Whether facing a DUI, criminal charge, or you were injured and it wasn't your fault, we tailor our legal game plan to meet your unique needs. We are relentless trial attorneys serving all of Nebraska. To learn more, go to libertylawnebraska.com. That's libertylawnebraska.com.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And Electrical.
Fall is officially here, which means it's the perfect time to get outdoors and stay moving. If you're someone who enjoys going on walks in fall weather, but you notice heel pain in your foot when you wake up, it could be a sign of plantar fasciitis. A visit to Fleet Feet Lincoln can help you find the shoes and inserts you need to avoid that pain. Their Fit ID machine takes a 3D image of your feet and picks the shoes that work best for you. Visit Fleet Feet Lincoln, located off of 70th and Pioneers Boulevard, so you can stay moving.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com.
This is Sunday Rewind on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the upbeat rejoin.
I like it.
Welcome back to Husker Rewind here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. That is Tom Stevens. I'm Mike Melby. We are live from 11th and O, looking out on O Street. It looks colder out there than it is in here.
It is cold out there. I don't like it. I went to the game yesterday, obviously, and sitting out there for a full game. Matt Rule talked about, and a lot of the players talked about, playing in the cold and how fumbles happen sometimes in the cold. But most of the players are like, hey, you have these heaters in the sidelines that blow out heat of like 1,000 degrees. And then once you get in the game, you're running around. You really don't notice it much. But when you're sitting in the stands, you're not running around. You're sitting there and it's cold.
Did you watch any of the broadcast at all? Did you catch any of it on TV?
I did watch the replay.
When they would go to the crowd and there's the one dude that is shirtless. And I'm just like, and you could just tell by about the middle of the second quarter, he is realizing exactly how dumb this was.
And it doesn't matter how much alcohol is inside of you.
I think he ran out of alcohol because he was looking like he was really cold. Final from Devaney, Nebraska 84, Doane 53 in the exhibition event at Pinnacle Bank Arena. 5 players in double figures for Nebraska, led by freshman Eli Rice. I have predicted and told you I think Eli Rice is going to be a difference maker this year. He's going to get his minutes, and he just seems to be efficient when he does. So
I hope you're right. I think he's going to be a great player. I just don't know that it's going to be this year, just because they're so flushed with talent and experienced talent.
Yeah, Casey rolled his ankle. He was walking around under his own power after the game and during some timeouts there. So we'll see.
Sometimes it's not as bad as it looks, but that looked bad.
That does.
Yeah.
Ben has got the sound file you were looking for too, by the way, if you want to jump into that.
Oh, nice. I was going to talk about this because I thought the college football world has been talking a lot about Jim Harbaugh, as it always does. And where do you go from here? Because it seems like if it's not recruiting scandals, it's, he was suspended, obviously, for a recruiting scandal. He took the 3-game suspension. And then another scandal comes up. Matt Rule was asked about it. I don't see it in here.
It's in the Husker Rewind folder. Not seeing it.
Let me see if I can get it. But I might just have to click out and then click back in and see if I can.
Good call. Live radio, folks, on the fly.
I don't see it as of yet, but then sometimes I just miss things.
Well, the thing that the whole scandal that's going on, somebody did a parody of it. And they had a guy acting as Connor Stallions, and the 2 people that were in wearing, opposing teams' gear. And he tells them, he's like, what are you doing wearing Penn State gear and whatever gear? I don't like that. Wear your gear. And it's like, Michigan Spy Patrol or something. It's a great parody if you get a chance to see it.
We found the comments from Matt Rule, and you might have already heard these if you browsed around YouTube, but Mrs. Matt Rule asked about Spygate and Michigan filming practices and what he thinks about that type of cheating.
to sign stealing in your experience?
Yeah, sign stealing happens every game. There's nothing wrong with teams over there looking over trying to steal our signs. There's nothing wrong with us trying to look at their signs. It's why you should have mics in the helmets, right? Like all these coaches that vote against it every year is because they don't want to teach their quarterback. In the NFL, each quarterback goes out there with 3 play calls because if I see the free safety's foot like that, it might be one high. I'm going to check to this play. But you get to college and you're watching a game on a Tuesday night, and they got the signal and they're just calling a play. So that's what makes college football, to me. That's why they score maybe more points, but it's also why the kids are less prepared. So that's why there should be 100% should be. We could get rid of all the stupid signs on the sidelines, and we could get pictures of, rock stars and all that stuff. We could just play football the way it was meant to be. You go to a high school game, there's technology on the sideline. You go to an NFL game, there's technology on the sideline. You go to the college, there's nothing. Like if you don't think, so that it should be that. But that's sign stealing. That's not. I would not carry that over to going and filming someone else's practices or something like that, or filming someone else's games. That's completely something different. And I'm not saying that happened, but I think what's wrong partly in our society right now sometimes is we say someone does something against the rules, and sports need rules, right? Sports need rules to keep competitive balance. And when someone does something against the rules, we say, well, should that really even be a rule? And it is the rule. That's the rule, right? Like I didn't get to play we don't get 5 downs.
There you go. I could play the rest of it, but that was a great answer.
It was. And when he said we don't get 5 downs, I was waiting for him to go, unless you're Colorado in 1990.
That's right. But that was on the officials. That wasn't on Colorado.
I get it. But
in that particular game. But I thought it was a good answer. Hey, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But if you're filming practices, if you're going to games and filming stuff to try to steal signs, that's different from looking up and seeing a sign and knowing what it means and stealing it. And I have heard people say that it's been rather curious that Michigan was in the exact right defense every single time when we would call a play. And more than one coach has said that.
Yeah.
They're a good football team, so they're going to beat teams anyway. They don't need to steal signs. But if this happened, I don't know that it's a throw the book at him type of offense, but it's certainly there should be a punishment.
It's kind of I mean, it's not like don't impose the death penalty on him and eliminate the football program at Michigan. But to me, this is significant. And the thing, they have proof. Like this isn't something where you're innocent until proven guilty. They've already laid out the evidence. Yeah. Now, the problem is the NCAA is doing the investigation, which means it should be concluded by 2032?
Yeah, maybe. So not this year. I mean, I don't expect anything to happen this year, but some other people might expect something very soon.
But
I don't think they're going to be eliminated from the college football playoffs if they find something. I don't see that happening. I just don't. Let's get to the Big Ten Blitz. We do it not the Big Ten Blitz, the picks of density, where we pick our games. We do it every single week. Here they are.
It's time now for the picks of density.
Because it's a destiny.
Wait, it says density on here.
On your density.
Oh, I get it. Because your picks carry a lot of weight, right?
That's some heavy shit, man.
All right, let's roll with it. The picks of density.
All right, Tanya. Again, 6-1-1. I was 4-3-1, and you were
2-5-1.
Ooh, you struggled last week.
Yeah, I took a lot of the underdogs and the points, and it didn't work out well.
Maybe you should start picking good volleyball schools.
I should have. Let's see. We got 8 games on the docket here. Starting off with Wake Forest at Duke. Interesting. The line on this moved in 2 hours, 5 points. Duke was favored by 7.5 when it opened earlier today. It's already at 12.5.
Well, Wake is coming off a loss to Florida State, 41-16. Duke fell to Louisville, 23-0. So both teams kind of struggling. I think the Wake Forest covers here.
All right, I'm going to actually take Duke and give the points. I know it's a lot. I was a lot happier when it was 7.5, but I think Duke has a bounce back game. I think they're a solid team this year. Notre Dame at Clemson. Notre Dame is a 3-point favorite. It was 3.5 open. It dropped at 3 already.
Notre Dame 14th in the country. They are coming off a 58-7 beatdown of Pitt. Clemson has just lost to North Carolina State the last weekend, 24-7. What is he? What'd you say?
Clemson.
3 points?
3 points.
Just out of feeling. I just have a feeling that Clemson will win this game. And I don't know why. Yeah, I think they win the game.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm saying that. And I know Dabo and his program is struggling right now. I just think that they're good for one big win every year.
There you go. Kansas State at Texas. By the way, I'm taking Notre Dame and giving the points. K-State at Texas opened at 7, has already dropped to 5.5. Texas is favored.
K-State is coming off a 41-0 win over Houston, Texas, 35-6 over BYU. It's at Texas, so I'll take Texas.
I did as well. Next game, Purdue at Michigan. I threw this one in because the point spread is so absurd. It was 30.5 to open. It's already up to 32.5. Michigan is favored.
Well, Nebraska just beat Purdue 31-14. It should have been by much more. Nebraska could have beaten Purdue by 30 plus. So I'm assuming that Michigan can do it, and they're coming off a bye. So I'm gonna take the 30 and pick Michigan.
All righty. Washington.
You.
Yeah. I actually, sorry. I will give the points and take Michigan in that one as well.
Okay.
Washington at USC.
Yeah.
This one has royally flipped.
Okay.
Washington was favored by 3.5 when it opened this morning. Right now, USC is favored by 3.
Well, USC's coming off a win, but an ugly win, 50-49 over Cal over the weekend. Neither team is playing much defense right now. Washington beat Stanford 42-33. So I'm wondering if they're bringing their defenses to the Big Ten next year. I think Washington. I just think Washington is a good football team, but they don't show up every week. Neither team shows up every week. But I'm going to take Washington and the points.
Okay. I will take Washington and the points as well.
Yeah.
Number one. Sorry. I'm so used to them being number one. LSU at Bama. Bama is a 4-point favorite.
LSU 13, Bama number 8 in the country, 4-point favorite. You said both teams coming off a bye.
Yep.
The game of the week in college football, I'll take Bama in that one.
I do as well, given the 4 points. Iowa at Northwestern. Iowa was favored by 5.5. It went up to 6 already.
I don't think that Iowa can score 6 points. Can they?
They'd have to score 7 in order to cover the spread and shut out Northwestern. Now, they may shut out Northwestern, but I don't know if they can score 7.
Iowa coming off a bye Northwestern with the big 33-27 win over Maryland. Yep. They're playing good football. I like their quarterback, Brendan Sullivan. I just don't like Iowa's offense. I think Northwestern, maybe they don't win the game, but they'll cover. It's going to be a really close game.
I think the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And the last one, Nebraska at Michigan State. Nebraska is a 3.5-point favorite.
Michigan State has lost their last 6 in a row since Mel Tucker was fired. I think this is the week they finally just fall into the tank. They kind of did it last week or this past weekend when they lost 27-12 to Minnesota. Minnesota's not a great football team.
No.
I think Michigan, I should say, Michigan State is about to quit. And I think Nebraska is going to make sure that they quit. I think they win 28-14 and maybe worse. It could be worse, but I got 28-14. Nebraska covers.
Relatively close. I take Nebraska, and this is unusual for me, but I'm actually saying a prediction of 27-10 Nebraska.
27-10. I like that.
So that's our picks of density. Enjoy the weight of those picks, and
then we pay up or have some punishment at the end of the year.
Yeah, Tanya said if she wins out on the ones that she's involved with and all that, like we owe her sushi. So
we'll buy her sushi. She's fun to hang out with.
Yeah,
I mean, she was in studio last week, and she's just fun.
Yeah.
She talked about her hatred for football.
Yeah,
because it got all. Of course, she's a former middle blocker for both John Cook and Terry Pettit, and just was always mad that football got more exposure than volleyball.
Well, when they win the Natty in '95 and on the local sports coverage, their last parting shot before they go and sign off for the night is, and by the way, Nebraska volleyball won the national title.
Oh yeah, something like that in volleyball. But now volleyball's probably got the upper hand in the state,
yeah.
at least a little bit. We are out. We will see you next Sunday from 5 to 7. See you then, Mike.
See you, Tommy.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
When it comes to joining the Nebraska Army National Guard, you've heard it all before. College, healthcare, signing bonus. But joining is so much more than that. It's setting yourself up for a new and better chapter of your life. I'm Staff Sergeant Paul White, and because of the Nebraska Army National Guard, I'm in control of my career. And when the workday ends, I get to come home to my family. Write your next chapter by joining the Nebraska Army National